If you or anyone you care about gets a check from Social Security, stop everything and listen to this. The Social Security Administration is about to make a huge change in 2026. They're ditching paper mail for most of their official notices and going all in on email. And buried inside this change is a serious risk, a risk that could actually get your benefits suddenly cut off. I'm not exaggerating. Imagine you miss one single email. Maybe it gets buried in your inbox or goes straight to spam. Because of that one tiny mistake, your monthly Social Security check could get suspended. Poof, gone. The money you rely on for rent, food, medicine could just stop showing up. The stakes here are incredibly high. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening, why it's a big deal, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to make sure you're protected. This isn't some minor inconvenience. We're talking about your financial lifeline. If you or someone you love depends on Social Security, you cannot afford to miss this. I'm Zane, and this is Seniors Security Updates. Okay, let's get right into it. If you or maybe your parents or really anyone you care about gets a check from Social Security, you're going to want to listen up. Seriously, the Social Security Administration, the SSA, is about to make this huge change in 2026. They're basically ditching paper mail for a lot of their official notices and going all in on email. Now, I know what you're thinking. Email? So what? But here's the thing. This isn't just a simple tech update. Buried inside this change is a pretty serious risk, a risk that could actually get your benefits suddenly cut off. So, we're going to break down exactly what's happening, why it's a big deal, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to make sure you're protected. And I want to be absolutely crystal clear about what's at stake. This isn't some minor inconvenience. We're talking about your financial lifeline here. Just think about it for a second. Imagine you miss one. Just one single email. Maybe it gets buried in your inbox, or worse, it goes straight to your spam folder and you never even see it. Well, because of that one tiny mistake, your monthly Social Security check could get suspended. Poof, gone. The money you rely on for, everything, rent, food, medicine, it could just stop showing up out of the blue. The stakes here are incredibly high, and that's exactly why we've got to walk through this step by step. Alright, so here's our plan for this explainer. First, we'll dig into the 2026 email shift itself. Then we'll unpack what this scary word suspension actually means. After that, we'll get into your proactive protection plan, the most important part. We'll also cover how to spot the inevitable scams. And finally, we'll talk about how you can help your friends and family navigate this. Sound good? Let's jump in. Okay, Section 1, the 2026 email shift. Let's really get to the bottom of what's going on, and you know why now. So, here's the big change in a nutshell. For as long as most of us can remember, if the Social Security Administration needed to tell you something important, you got a letter, a real physical letter in your mailbox. Well, starting in 2026, that's all changing. The SSA is officially moving to what they call a digital-first approach. And what does that mean for you? It means those super important notices. Things like, hey, we need you to verify some information, or we have a question about your benefits. Those might not show up on paper anymore. Instead, you're going to find them in your email inbox or waiting for you inside your online My Social Security account. So you might be asking, why are they doing this? And honestly, from the government's point of view, it kind of makes sense. The SSA has been struggling for a while now with budget issues and not enough staff. Their offices are often just totally overwhelmed. So going digital, it's their way of trying to modernize and get more efficient. I mean, it's obviously way faster than snail mail. It saves a ton of taxpayer money on paper and stamps. Plus, it gives them a nice, clean digital record of everything. The logic is solid, right? But, and this is a huge but, it's all built on this one gigantic assumption that every single person who gets Social Security is ready, willing, and able to deal with all this online stuff. And as we know, that's just not the case. And that brings us to, let's be honest, the scariest word in this whole conversation, suspension. So for our next section, let's break down what that actually means. We want to understand the real problem here without freaking out more than we need to. Okay, this is super important to understand. A suspension does not mean your benefits are terminated. They're not gone for good. The best way to think about it is like someone hitting the pause button on your payments. Let's say the SSA emails you asking for some document and you just don't see it. You don't reply in time. Well, they have the right to just pause your benefits. The money is still technically yours, but it completely stops coming in until you finally get in touch with them and fix whatever the problem was. And right here, this is the real danger. The word pause sounds so harmless, right? Like it's just a temporary little hiccup. But trying to get those benefits unpaused, that can be a total nightmare. We're talking about weeks, maybe even months of trying to get through on the phone, filling out forms, just getting stuck in bureaucratic limbo. And all that time, no money is coming in. But guess what? Your bills don't pause. The rent is still due. You still need to fill your prescriptions. You still have to buy groceries. This is what makes a suspension so absolutely devastating. It rips a huge sudden hole in your budget. And for a lot of folks, there's just no safety net to catch them. Okay, we've laid out the problem. Now for what I think is the most important part of this whole explainer, the solution. Let's talk about your proactive protection plan. These are 3 simple but absolutely critical steps you need to take, and you can do them right now to make sure this never happens to you. All right, let's go through these one by one. Step 1, verify your email, and I mean really verify it. Log into your account online or even pick up the phone and call the SSA. Make 100% sure they have the right email address for you. And not just any email, it has to be one you check every single day. Okay, step 2, create your My Social Security account. If you haven't done this yet, please do it today. Just go to SSA.gov. This online account is basically your personal dashboard for everything Social Security. It's where you'll see messages and manage your benefits. It's crucial. And finally, step 3, and this is about building a new habit. Check your stuff regularly. That means checking your email and logging into that online account on a regular basis. And don't forget this part, check your spam folder. Seriously, how many times has an important email ended up in spam? Imagine an SSA notice getting lost in there. That's exactly the kind of thing that could trigger a suspension. Now, I want to be perfectly clear about who this affects because it's not just for retirees. Are you getting disability benefits SSDI? Then yes, this is for you. Are you on Supplemental Security Income or SSI? This is for you too. Are you a surviving spouse or a child receiving benefits? Yep, this is absolutely for you. The bottom line is really simple. If you get any kind of check from the Social Security Administration for any reason, then this whole digital shift applies to you. You've got to pay attention and you've got to have a plan. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about something that's, well, it's unfortunate, but it is so necessary. You know what happens whenever there's a big confusing change involving the government and your money, right? The scammers crawl out of the woodwork. They absolutely love confusion and fear. And this whole 2026 digital shift, it's like a gold mine for them. Think of this as your personal scam detector. You need to burn these rules into your brain. First, let's talk about what the SSA will never do. They will never email you and ask for your full Social Security number, ever. They will never threaten to have you arrested or take legal action. That's pure intimidation. And they will absolutely positively never demand that you pay some kind of fee with a gift card, a wire transfer, or cryptocurrency. Those are giant flashing red lights that scream scam. Now, on the other hand, what might they do? Well, they might send you an email with a link that says, "Hey, you have a new message. Please log into your secure My Social Security account to view it." Notice they aren't asking for info in the email. They're telling you to go to their secure site. They might also send you general updates. The big difference is always the tone. Scammers use threats and urgency. The real SSA doesn't. So here's the golden rule. If you ever get an email or a text or a call that feels even a tiny bit sketchy, just don't engage. Don't click the link. Don't reply. Don't give them a single piece of information. Instead, you need to take back control. The best way to do that is to completely ignore the message you got and go directly to the source yourself. So, open up a new browser window and you type in SSA.gov. Or better yet, Pick up your phone and call their official public number. It's 1-800-772-2013. I'll say that again. It's 1-800-772-2013. That way, you know without a doubt that you're talking to the real Social Security Administration. Okay, so now you've got the tools to protect yourself. But we can't stop there. We've got to talk about looking out for other people in our lives because let's be real, this digital shift is not going to hit everyone equally. This is really about spreading awareness and making sure the most vulnerable people don't get left behind. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the problem. For many of us, our whole lives are online, right? But that is just not reality for a huge number of people. I want you to think about your own family, your parents, your grandparents, maybe an elderly neighbor down the street. So many seniors, especially folks in their 80s and 90s, they've just never gotten comfortable with computers or smartphones. The idea of navigating a complicated government website is totally overwhelming for them. And it's not just about comfort. What about people in rural areas who still don't even have reliable internet? These are the people who are at the highest risk. They could have their benefits cut off simply because they missed an email they never even knew was coming. So, what can we do? What are the actual practical steps you can take to help? First, just start a conversation. The next time you talk to your mom or your grandpa, just ask them, "Hey, have you heard about this email change with Social Security?" Next, offer to help. And I mean really offer. Say, "Hey, can I come over this weekend and we can sit down together and get your online account set up? Let's just make sure they have the right email for you." You can even show them how to log in and check for messages. And look, if you have a loved one who really can't manage their own finances anymore, you can look into something called a representative payee. That's a formal process that lets you handle their Social Security stuff for them. It's really just about being that one trusted person they can rely on. And that really brings us to the big final question here. This isn't just about whether you are ready. It's about whether our entire community is ready for a digital-first Social Security. I mean, this system, it's a promise, right? A promise that we've all paid into our entire working lives. Moving it online might look good on a spreadsheet, but that promise is broken if people get left behind in the process. The risk is very, very real. But you know what? So is the solution. It's awareness and it's action. So please make sure you're prepared. Share this video with everyone you know who gets Social Security benefits and reach out and help those who might not be able to do it themselves. Because taking a few simple steps today can literally prevent a devastating financial crisis for someone you love tomorrow. If this helped you understand what's coming in 2026, please subscribe to Senior Security Updates so you don't miss future updates about Social Security, Medicare, and benefits that affect your life. I'm Zane, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay protected.